The University of Detroit Mercy presents another brand new episode of Ask the Professor, the radio show on which you match wits with University of Detroit Mercy professors in an unrehearsed session of questions and answers. Today's program was recorded using Zoom video conferencing technology.
The University Tower chimes bring in another session of Ask the Professor, the show on which you match wits with University of Detroit Mercy professors in an unrehearsed session of questions and answers. I'm your host, Matt Mayo, and let me introduce to you our panel for today. I believe coming to us live from our brand new Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, it's Professor Erin Bell.
I am. I'm here up on the third floor of the library. It's a beautiful fall day. Hello, everyone.
Hello. And what does fall mean to you, Erin?
This fall means to me. It means that I'm going to have a little tiny space of time where my bills are going to go down for just a minute because I don't have to have the air conditioning on every day because it's 88 degrees, and maybe I can get away without having the heat. No, I love the fall. But yeah, that's a real life answer right there.
That is a real life answer. I completely understand that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Professor Jim Tubbs is here with us today. How about autumn in the Tubbs household? What's that like, Jim?
I like autumn. Yes, it's nice when the air is crisp and fairly dry. And well, I'm hoping that we'll get some leaf color this year. You know, so many leaves are turning brown and dropping off because they got so dry during the summer.
It's true.
I hope we will have some color. But
we had some trees planted at our house, a non-fruit bearing pear, which apparently has some wonderful leaves and wonderful blossoms in the spring, and the shock of the planting just had them sort of shed their leaves, and they're going to be okay in a couple of years, but they're not looking too good right now. I think about what you say there, Jim. Continuing around the horn, Professor Beth Oljar is here with us. And what's your favorite fall memory, Beth?
Slip and going out to Savi's Island to get pumpkins when I was growing up, trick-or-treating for UNICEF. Those little orange cardboard boxes that we all got when we were kids, and now of course it means 6 of the 200 plus bags of candy for the hordes that show up on our, I'm not kidding you.
That's
it
so
looks
awesome.
like, I don't know what it is about. Well, I do know what it is. It's a nice, safe street and a nice, safe neighborhood. So it's a good place to bring your kids trick-or-treating, but I'm not kidding you. I can go through 6 of those bags in 3 or 4 hours.
That's a big deal right there.
I'm
telling you, Beth, give out clam chowder. It's easier.
Well, or hire one of Matt's kids to come over and answer the door.
Exactly. I got to tell you, Beth, it's funny you bring up trick-or-treating, because we do problems at the board every once in a while in my organic chemistry lecture. And what I told the students is that there's a social contract about going up and making basically like a 15-second presentation. When they turn to the audience, that's the symbol that they're ready to present. If they keep their backs to us, then they're preparing. And I tried to make the best analogy I could. It was like the universal symbol for whether a house is welcoming trick-or-treating on Halloween night is the porch light on, right? If that porch light's not on, why even bother walking up and all the students chimed in when I asked that question across ethnicities and cultures. And I'm like, all right, we're still churning out a nice holiday here in the States. What can I say?
They all knew that was the universal symbol.
Universal symbol,
candy.
Porch light. Absolutely. And of course, Professor Dave Chow, who is like living the fall life that we have here in Michigan on the coast of Lake Huron in Oscoda, Michigan. How's it going, Dave?
It's a little cold. It's a little blustery, but I like it that way. As long as the seagulls don't come attack me like a Alfred Hitchcock flick, it should be good.
If you could see Dave on video right now, listeners, he's looking to the sky with despair.
He's checking out the attacking birds.
That's right.
Fearing for my life. I just hope they don't have
His best Tippy Hedron. What
Exactly.
can I say?
I'm like, he has his Tippy Hedron wing on and wig on. It's all good.
I don't need to find out the Scotia Seagulls have a hankering for Chinese food out here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Prime Buffet. That's all. So.
Oh my gosh.
I've got too much MSG. Too much MSG.
But you know,
I tell you.
even the birds couldn't dent that beehive hairdo that Tippy Hedron had.
Good point. That is a good point.
Absolutely true. Well, I think that that's a great segue into the fact that this is a program where you can send us questions regarding anything. You know what? I'm just putting it out there. Been a while since we had a nice set of questions about Hitchcock. That would be cool. If you stump the panel, you win one of our prizes. If you don't stump the panel, you win one of our prizes. You can send the questions to us in a number of ways. Email us at atp@udmercy.edu. Find us on Facebook and Instagram, or listen on your favorite smart speaker by asking it to play Ask the Professor at University of Detroit Mercy. Okie dokie. What do we got here? Hi. I just listened to the episode. Lots of fun hearing the profs back together again in person. We loved the Dakota Inn and felt like we were right back in it. Oh, that's very cool.
That was great.
Here are sets of questions. I don't remember if I ever sent them in, so I'm sending them again. Like Matt said, winter's fast approaching in the UP side. Okay. We'll always have ATP to keep us entertained. I don't think that we've done these before. I don't recognize them, and looking at them, fictional dogs and their owners. Yes. Cool. Dennis and I own Izzy and Boomer, two huge and happy old English sheepdogs. They've romped all over the UP with us, and they suggested that we write some dog questions. I'll give you the name of the dog. You give the name of the owner.
Woof.
Oh boy.
Woof.
Woof.
To keep everybody on board here across what fictional means, we're talking many different kinds of media, literature, television, movies, things like that. So, all right. The name of the dog is Buck.
Married with children.
I believe actually that was the name of the son, right?
No. That was no.
Was it the name of the dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bud was a son.
Bud, that's what I'm thinking.
Buck was a dog. Yeah.
Isn't Buck in a Call of the Wild?
It's Call of the Wild. Yeah, that's what we're going for here. John Thornton's dog, Buck from Call of the Wild. So I was going to maybe Dave is right. Let's just assume he is. We'll go from, like schlocky early Fox and we'll go to classic American literature. How's that?
Thank you for upgrading my intelligence level there, Erin.
That's right.
Okay, a little bit old school, but still kind of cool. Very unique name. The name of the dog was Asta, A-S-T-A.
Oh, that's Nick and Nora Charles. Yeah.
From The Thin Man.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Right.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay, this one
says... I wonder
says...
if the dog drank as much as the two of them did.
No, the dog would not have been able to stand.
I know, it's not possible, right? Yeah.
It's pickled
that's
dog.
The one that's most often in the crossword puzzles.
Okay, see, it's such an uncommon name. But what was Asta? Do we know what Asta was?
I think was it like a schnauzer terrier or something?
It was a gray poodle-ish kind of thing, if I remember right.
The next one is Tramp, from a TV show, not the movie.
My Three Sons.
My Three Sons, the Douglas family.
I remember
That's
Tramp.
right.
Tramp was a very shaggy dog.
Yes.
The shaggy dog, one of the questions. No.
There you go. Oh, we might be giving away a little bit here. Fairly straightforward, depending on whether you were a comics fan or a TV fan. Whose dog was Daisy?
Blondie. Blondie.
Blondie and Dagwood.
Blondie and Dagwood, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Cute. My first dog was named Blondie after that comic. So there you go.
Debbie Harry?
No, well, I wasn't that cool when I was 5. It was from the comic, but still cool.
Oh, no. It's you can rewrite history. It's okay.
It was really hip. It was a really hip 5-year-old.
Yep.
Okay, who owned a dog named Brinkley?
Chet Huntley. Oh, oops.
Brinkley.
Like I would assume named after David Brinkley, the famous journalist.
Like Lou Grant. That sounds like Lou Grant's dog.
It does, but it's a little more into the modern era. And I can give you the clue that it's from a sort of a cookie cutter movie.
I was going to say Walter Cronkite, but that doesn't sound right.
Cookie cutter movie.
Yeah, just a little bit of a cookie cutter movie. We had about 2 or 3 movies with multiple very famous American actors kind of playing the same sort of thing every time. This movie is most often compared to Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, You've Got Mail?
You've Got Mail, yeah.
Tom
It
Hanks.
was Tom Hanks's character, Joe Fox, had
okay.
Brinkley the dog. Yes, Brinkley the dog.
Well, they're both Nora Ephron, right?
I
Or
think
maybe
so.
not.
Oh,
Yep, they are.
body of work. Yes.
K9, as in the letter K and the Arabic numeral 9.
The movie K9.
Yeah. Well, there's Get Smart, wasn't it? No,
It's not what do we have here.
Hold it. There's a bunch of people who had K9 for a dog. Buck Rogers. Trying to remember who else.
That makes sense, but
Who
that's
else
not
had a
what it says
K9?
here.
So I'm trying to remember. Wasn't Get Smart's dog K? No,
Sounds like it would be a police dog.
Genre.
a science fiction.
It is sci-fi.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
Oh,
it wasn't Battlestar Galactica.
No, but
So-
you're getting closer.
Ooh,
It's not
okay.
Star Wars, Star Trek.
No.
Uh,
It says here it's from Doctor Who, the Tom Baker
that's
Doctor
right.
Who
That's right.
had
Oh.
K9
Oh.
as his
Where-
companion.
Where's
Where's
Dan when we
Dan?
need him?
I know.
Dan would have got it.
It's gonna kill him. Just gonna kill him. Poor guy.
We'll just edit this one out. That's all. Don't worry about it. He'll forgive us.
Forgive us.
I
Oh,
hope.
poor Dan. Hey, who owned Eddie?
Frasier,
Oh, Frasier
Oh.
Crane.
Oh my God.
the
I love that.
greatest dog in the world.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
JRTs are such a great breed.
It says technically owned by
Oh, it
Martin
was his
Crane.
dad. That's
Oh,
right. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
But from the show
Frasier
Frasier.
didn't like
Does
it.
anybody remember his brother Niles' dog?
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
the
yeah.
Italian Greyhound. It looked like the Whippet or something. I mean, it
Oh
was
my
just
gosh.
some ridiculous little dog that totally matched Niles's personality.
yes.
I find that those dogs kind of look that way, like the old, cartoon trope about you look like your dog or your dog
Right.
looks like you. And when you
Exactly.
see a dog
Yeah.
that's like the size of a pony, but only weighs about half a pound, that's the way it works. Ooh, here's a good one from classic literature, classic children's literature.
Oh.
Who owned a dog named Nana? Nana.
Oh, it's from Peter Pan. It's Wendy.
Wendy and Wendy. Yeah.
The boy, yes.
You got it. The Darling family dog.
Yes.
The
Darling
family
family.
dog. I thought it was great in the Disney version of Peter Pan how Nana actually was dressed like she was a nanny. I'm like, it makes perfect sense,
Very proper.
keeping track of the kids before the fairy dust allowed them to fly away.
They called it fairy dust. Sure, it was. Oh,
That's right. That's what they're calling it these days.
You're on a tear. I don't know what the sea air is doing to you, but I'm worried
Have they
about
already
you, Dave.
Have they already opened the tiki bar? Is that what's going on?
He's been indulging the whole time.
He's,
No, I
just-
he's
telling
just
us.
been sampling ingredients.
Oh my
I
that
just
God.
got
we
here an
use
hour
in the
ago.
tiki bar. At least all of them above 80 proof.
Mhm.
no
A little
comment.
bit
Oh,
little bit backwards looking, so we're talking about, maybe I would call it classic or golden area movies. Who owned Neil the dog? Neil. Neil.
Hmm.
Sherlock Holmes.
Nope.
Neil the dog.
Neil the
Very
dog.
distinguished gentleman. I don't know.
Yes, a gentleman is actually a good way to attack this, Erin. I remember, because I grew up on classic movies thanks to my mom, being shown the first movie in this series and not being that into it, but still, broad comedy, I would say.
Neil the dog.
Oh,
It says here that Neil was owned by George and Marion Kirby from the Topper movie series, if you've ever seen
Wow.
Topper. Yeah. Topper was the proper gentleman, I believe, who, because that would have been fun back in the day, died in a car crash. And then he came back as a ghost and caused all sorts of problems for the Kirby family. And they had a dog named Neil. So how about Astro? Now there's a no-brainer.
oh,
Jetsons.
George Jetson.
Yep. The Jetson family.
And his wife, Judy.
His boy.
Uh,
Elvis.
no, Jane. Jane Jetson,
Jane,
wasn't it?
right.
Oh, I'm sorry. The daughter
Yeah.
was Judy, right? Is that
Yes,
right?
thank you. Yes.
We had a
the
nice
Jet Screamer. Oh,
we had a nice Jetsons reference at the Mayo family dinner table last night because my poor mother, if you can believe it, sprained her pinky. And if you remember the Jetsons well, everything was a push button future. So those were the only muscles you ever needed to sort of like have physical therapy for. And my mother's doctor recommended she go to physical therapy for her pinky. And I'm like, I gotta have a video of this. I want to know what they're gonna make you do. Like push-ups with your hands, or like tiny little weights. Exactly. See, Erin and I had the same idea. I thought that was pretty funny.
That thing from the Addams family is your PT therapist.
There you go. Just the
I
hand.
think what your mother could do is just drink a lot of tea.
Try to keep the balance, Jim. That's great. Definitely from Topper. I mean, those movies were like, I want to say like 20s, 30s. I mean, they were even pre-World War II. This is jumping all the way to the modern era. A recently off-the-air TV show. Who had a dog named Cheddar?
Cheddar.
It's 9-9.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, that's
It's,
right.
the Holtz. Yes.
Captain Holt and Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very funny show. Very, very funny
Great
show.
I believe we're having, I believe as part of our homecoming, one of the actors who plays Detective Holt's husband is going to be here. So that's a big motivation for those homecoming events for some of us 9-9 people.
Yeah, my brother is actually a graduate of the theater program, and they've got a ton of great alumni coming back for the theater homecoming next Saturday. Jamie Moyer is the one who's been on Bob's Burgers and was the male person on a couple of those, short-lived sitcoms recently. So pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, that actually is. I mean, we're always willing to brag about Keegan-Michael Key being out of the program, but supplied a lot of other, folks from our theater program coming up.
Super cool.
Who owned Murray? Murray.
I know that.
This would be 90s sitcom. I think that's all I'm going to be able to do there.
I totally know this because 90s sitcoms, it's like me.
Is it like Friends or something like
It's in that era, but it's not Friends.
I know I'm going to be so mad when you say I got to.
Is it
Home Alone? Was it? No. Murray.
The only Murray that's coming to mind right about now is Murray the cop from Odd Couple. That's Murray.
That's not going to help us though.
I'm blanking. Can we get one of the people on the show?
I think I'll give it away if I say that Paul Reiser was on the show, if I remember correctly.
With Helen Hunt.
Mad About You.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a good show.
Yep.
Helen Hunt. Oh,
yeah.
Saucy.
They had yeah, you definitely have gotten into the sauce a little bit early, Dave. This guy is off the charts here right now. Oh my gosh. So bonus question. Thanks for sending those in. I actually don't think I ever said that the questions were sent in by Marilyn Bachorik. She sent us tons of questions over the years.
I figured it was Marilyn.
From the UP, but there was no signature, and I just read all the way through. I'm so sorry.
No. You had mentioned because you talked about our two dogs.
That's right.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you're okay.
So bonus question, just for the goofiness. This is great. Who was Noel the Pig's owner? 80s era sitcom.
Noel.
Designing Women.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Delta Burke's character.
Delta Burke.
Love that show too.
Suzanne
on that pig.
Noel the Pig. I love it.
That show was
hysterical. Noel the Pig always had a frilly collar around her neck.
Now, whatever happened to Noel the Pig?
Bacon.
Well,
he's bacon.
We don't want to go there, Dave.
Exactly.
I don't want to go there.
I have my finger over the mute button. I'm afraid of what might happen next time.
Probably ended up in a beauty pageant like its owner.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
An episode of Black Mirror. No, that's bad. Never mind.
Oh my, yikes.
Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Oh wow.
God. I know about that actually.
Oh,
yep. I finally caught up on Black Mirror when the pandemic started because I'd basically put it off forever. And I was riveted basically to every episode. Fascinating series. Hope that they bring a couple more episodes back in the future. Okay, we've got a short set of questions to finish our show here from a student, Rebecca de la Garza. There's no indication of who's a student, but Beth just nodded, so I'm guessing.
Yeah, she had me for honors ethics with Josh Hohenschied. Saying,
there you go.
Yeah, that batch. She's a very smart kid.
Yeah, we've got some anatomy questions here. Nothing too off the charts, but let's see what we can do. Which blood type is more commonly known as the universal recipient?
Oh, isn't it?
Oh, neg.
Oh,
no,
I think you're thinking of the universal donor.
Okay. Is it an AB?
AB is the universal recipient.
Yes. Okay.
That's the blood type you want if you're looking for a transfusion that won't turn you into She-Hulk.
Good tip. I'm fuzzy on this whole good bad thing. So thanks for the safety tip, Egon.
Now imagine a Twinkie the size of New York City. That's a big Twinkie. But by the way, great Ghostbusters reference, and I am not joking. I think it had been maybe 25 years since I've seen The Crow. Now that is a solid movie with Ernie Hudson in it. Like one of my favorite movies of all time, and I just haven't seen it in forever. So great. Takes place in the city of Detroit.
I saw that in the theater when it came out.
Yeah.
So did I.
Yeah, Beth, I'm surprised you didn't see it on the streets.
Hey, how many pairs of ribs does a human body have?
How many what?
Pairs of ribs.
8?
7?
No.
9?
I'm counting.
10.
I don't know. Depends how many orders I get at Slows to Go.
You know, it's 12. You were climbing the ladder, but it is 12. Yep. What is the medical term for more commonly is known as a bruise?
A hematoma.
That's what I've heard, but they've got a word that starts with the letter C here.
I was going to say an ouchie, but
it's also known as a contusion. A contusion.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Multiple contusions, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Rebecca tells us not to think too hard. How many?
We don't.
Don't worry about it. How many cranial nerves does a human have?
10.
It says it's actually 12 here, but you know, I've always heard 10, Jim, because my dentist jokes with me all the time. I'm getting some sort of Novocaine shot. If you put your hand on the side of your face, your 4 fingers and thumb actually trace the sources of those nerves.
No, it is 12 because I now remember the mnemonic that we had to memorize.
Oh, I see. Now, what was that?
No, I'm not telling you.
Some of mine are fused. Does that mean I don't have 12?
You're just learning a straight pipe.
I don't know, but I think there's one that's not like generally, going to be numbed by any.
I had to get an MRI, in fact, to make sure that I didn't, because I've been having a lot of pain and stiffness in my neck, and I'm like, oh God, now surgery number 3 on my spine. But apparently my oncologist told me that the MRI was okay. So I'm still going to call the osteopath, but yeah, I was hoping that I wouldn't.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Beth, did we lose you?
Oh no, I think we lost Beth.
We lost Beth.
To have surgery number.
There we go.
It's just a bad internet signal.
Yep, we'll get her back in just a minute here. Professors, we all know the cardiovascular.
So doesn't look like I will.
Excellent. We're glad to hear you're in better health, Beth. We all know the cardiovascular system deals with heart and blood vessels, and skeletal involves the bones. What are the parts of the integumentary?
Integumentary. That's the skin. That's the skin.
Yeah, skin and nails.
Skin, hair, nails, and your exocrine glands. That's pretty interesting. Okay. What is the technical term? I think that Rebecca might mean the medical term for your voice box.
Larynx.
Larynx, yes. Love all that ancient Latin, ancient Greek. That's pretty cool stuff. What hormone is secreted by the pancreas to increase blood glucose, not to decrease it?
Oh
Cortisol.
my gosh, I should know this.
It doesn't say that here, Jim.
Insulin decreases, so
Right.
glucagon.
Glucagon. Yeah,
Oh.
there we go. Sounds like a transformer or something like that. But glucagon for sure. Yep. There are two types of cholesterol. One is known as the good, and the other is known as the bad.
Yes.
What is the technical term for good cholesterol?
Low
HDL.
density, high density lipoprotein.
Yeah, it's the high density lipoprotein. That's right. There's two types, the good and the bad.
And the bad.
The Jedi and the Sith. That's just the way it works.
And the chaotic evil and all those others.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The Jedi and the Sith.
Well, try to keep things straight. You want to know how many times this year so far, Beth, I've said, the students are complaining about some definition I'm giving them, and I'm like, what I've told you is true from a certain point of view. Like, that's all you need.
I like that.
One more. In the classical definition, professors, arteries carry blood to or away from a heart.
Away.
Yeah, it's away. It's I've always been fascinated by that definition. I suppose if you've got a bunch of corpses and you're just trying to figure out what to call things, that's a good way to do it. But it's something about carrying oxygen is really interesting.
And veins carry them too, and you have capillaries in between.
That's right. That's exactly right. Okay, one more of our Burroughs family imponderables here. Let's see what we can get down to.
An imponderable.
Yeah, an imponderable. What about soundtracks to movies? I'm not even going to say like favorite movie, because maybe you have a favorite movie where you like the soundtrack. Maybe there's a movie you don't really care for, but you love the soundtrack. Well, when I say movie soundtracks, what do you think of?
Saturday Night Fever.
The one that made the biggest impression on me was Star Wars. The first Star Wars.
Let's be serious. Right? John Williams.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Yentl, the soundtrack.
Oh.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So who was on Yentl? I mean, was it just composed by somebody?
Barbra Streisand.
Oh, okay.
It was Michelle Legrand wrote the music, and Marilyn and Alan Bergman wrote all the lyrics. Yeah. They of The Way We Were fame. So that and A Star Is Born. I mean, I like the soundtrack to that better than the film. In fact,
there you go.
Gone with the Wind was great, but it's one theme that's the main thing. Everything else is just filler. Likewise with Lawrence of Arabia, wonderful main theme, but there's not the rest of the music is just not particularly.
Snoozer, yeah.
Footloose has a great soundtrack. Oh my gosh,
yeah, Footloose has got a great soundtrack.
Absolutely.
Okay. I love Flashdance too, because I used to do the Jane Fonda workout to that album.
Nice.
And now I'm really dating myself.
Now.
Like firmly entrenched in Gen X. I always think of Train Spotting, which is decidedly less intellectual than any of your choices, but it is just such a good mix of different genres, and you got Iggy Pop in there, and it's a really fun soundtrack for working out. And then the other one that comes to mind, which is really gross, but it's Reservoir Dogs, and of the the stuck in the little dance.
Using Steeler's wheel. I mean, stuck in the middle with you when he's doing the carving of it. Oh my God. Yeah.
I can't separate the song from that scene. So it's stuck in my mind.
Tarantino's always reliable for great. So, I mean, Pulp Fiction is a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Too.
Awesome. Yes. A+ for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now I've got 4 that are probably obscure. Carlito's Way.
I can get with that.
Okay. The Big Chill soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
That was a wonderful soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Grease and Saturday Night Fever.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of those were great. Well, I don't know about Carlito's Way, but
and the really obscure one, just for one song, God rest her soul, Olivia Newton-John doing Xanadu.
Oh, sure. Of course. Of course.
Kitschy and god awful terrible.
Yep.
And, whatever. So it was fun.
So
I expect the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack kind of I don't know, encapsulated
that era.
That musical style.
Right. I remember my parents I was just a little bit too young, really big on The Big Chill. And one of the things that I think that the younger generations probably have no perception of is, if you've got a movie like The Big Chill, which most of the soundtrack was Motown, you couldn't get those tracks all in one place back in the day unless you were subscribing to the Capitol Records CD, you know, or Tape Club or something. So having a soundtrack that was an assembly of great music was just as important as an original score, because I grew up in an era, John Williams. If I just say Star Wars, Harry Potter, and Indiana Jones, those are some of the greatest music ever written. And
Most Encounters.
Yeah.
But you can't always get what you want played at a funeral.
That was great. How awesome was that scene?
That's true.
Well, plus they got, I mean, it was mostly Motown, but they had, you know, Procol Harum and the Stones and Wider Shade of Pale.
Mm-hmm.
And I will put in my 2 cents, even after all of that explanation, that if I had to choose, I would go with pretty much anything by Alan Silvestri, because that covers both Back to the Future and the Avengers theme. And both of them are, speaking of working out, that's it's time to get pumped up when you hear that.
Oh, wait,
music,
okay, Matt, here's one you might actually get along with. What about the Pretty in Pink soundtrack?
Oh,
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's our generation for sure.
I actually never saw that movie.
Its era. Yep.
Yes.
Never saw it.
I had the 45 of the, you know.
Do you have the adapter too?
Yeah, I'm that old.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Professors, I'm so sorry. I'm looking at the time, and the time has come for us to say goodbye. Dave.
See ya.
Beth.
Goodbye.
Jim.
Goodbye.
And Erin.
Hi, everyone.
And now these words from University of Detroit Mercy.
Ask the Professor is transcribed in, all of our homes, but usually it's in the Briggs Building in the Department of Communication Studies in the College of Liberal Arts and Education at University of Detroit Mercy's McNichols campus. Ask the Professor is produced and technically directed by Michael Jason and Brian Masonville, and our executive producer is Professor Jason Roach. Until next week, I'm your host, Matt Mayo.